Everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. Today I am going to be doing two things. I am going to review Karlie by Jon Renau in the color 633, and my Karlie has a bit of box hair. So we are going to use a hot brush, a hot air brush, in order to eliminate some of the box hair. I was looking at the clearance section at Wig Studio One, and Karlie was there, and the color of mine is in 633, and I thought, well, I've always wanted that wig, so I'm going to go ahead and get it. I love that clearance section. Let me show you the cap to Karlie. Karlie has a hand-tied cap. We have a lace front. We have a full monofilament top. Jon Renau's hand-tied caps have a lot of stretch to them. They run pretty much on the larger end of average, maybe a little bit more so. They have a 360-degree stretch, if I'm not mistaken on that. We have a non-extended nape, and as you can see, I cinched it in all the way to the center in order to accommodate my 21.5-inch circumference. So, as I mentioned, I purchased Karlie on clearance, and not because it came from clearance, but just in general, sometimes we get wigs and they have box hair, and if you're not familiar with box hair, it's the hair has been crimped, or it just gets kind of out of sorts from being in the box maybe over a long period of time, and that happens very, very frequently. So when I received Karlie, it had a lot of box hair. I decided to take it out and see what I could do. And the first thing that I did was give it a cold bath. And that I didn't want to go into showing you, because that's all I did was fill the sink with some cool water, place Karlie in there, let it soak for 5-10 minutes, take it out, hang it to dry. That was it. That's all I have done. So now we're going to see. Usually when you do a cold soak, you're going to be able to eliminate a lot of that box hair. And when it's hanging to dry, you just kind of finger comb it into place. Sometimes that's enough, especially if you have a wavy wig. That is plenty to do. That's not the case with Karlie, and I want it to look like the stock photo, and I'll put a picture up here. All right, and the color 633, it's a blend of just brown and dark red. This is a warm color. You don't have any obvious highlights because this is just a blended color. So you have an even amount of the brown and the dark red. Really pretty color. I'll show you when we go outside, or you'll see it when we go outside. Put Karlie on, and I'll tell you the measurements. We'll see what needs to be done. I usually use the hot air brush with my wig on with the canvas head on a tripod, but my tripod is very short, and I'm not sure I could show it to you on the tripod on camera. So I'm going to try showing you on camera with me wearing Karlie. We'll see how that works. If not, I'll just have to stop the video and figure out how to show you. Okay, so as you can see, it's really not bad. It's just that we have these flippy ends. And if you like the flippy ends, that's fine. You could certainly leave them there. I just wanted it to be all tucked under. Let me show you Karlie on all sides, and then I'll give you the measurements, and then we'll get with using the hot air brush. See, I'm sure that it's not tucked under. I could kind of feel it back there. But I just want you to get an idea of how Karlie looks. I think it's such a pretty wig, and I am just so excited to have it. I didn't cinch it in quite enough. If I were going out, I'd be wearing a wig grip, but I'm not going out. Let me show you the coverage. Here is the ear tab, and just that little bit of my hairline is showing. These Jon Renau hand-tied cap have, the coverage is amazing, just amazing. Let me show you the lace front. We do have a little bit of knotting, but I don't think it's bad because we have some of that dark red running through the front there. We do have that blend. So I think that really helps. I use the hot tools, the hot airbrush hot tools, and I purchased mine at Wig Studio One. The most important thing to remember when you're purchasing a hot tool is that it doesn't, and you're going to use it for synthetic fibers like what Karlie has. This does not have heat-friendly fibers. You want to use a hot tool that doesn't have any metal on it. You want to use one that is either plastic or silicone barrel and bristles. I use it on the low setting, and I'll move it over to the high setting. It's great for styling of these synthetic fibers, and I do so much with it. Sometimes with my old wigs that it just starting appearing a little bit dry on the end, just some of the hot airbrush will work perfectly for you. I want to see how it's going to work better. All right, this is going to be really loud, so instead of having you listen to the really loud noise, I'm going to put on some music for you. All right, as you can see, this side turned out pretty good. This side still has the flippy end. So what I'm going to do with this side, I'm going to do the same thing I just showed you, but I will take off the wig and I will place it on a wig stand. When we have the wig on the canvas head, the first thing we want to do is make sure we add the T-pins on the ear tabs, both of the ear tabs, and at the nape. We don't want to add any pins to the lace front or to the mono top. So ear tabs and nape. As you can see, I divided up the fibers, the hair, into sections, and that will make it a lot easier. Now I can start working on this side. I want to show you something on the hot airbrush. We have a setting of high, low, and off. And if you notice up here, it says curl release. So all I have to do when I curl it, then leave it there for a few seconds, and then I just hit the curl release, and the bristles will rotate in the opposite direction, and that will release the hair. I want to point out that when I take the fibers and place them on the hot airbrush, I want to make sure that I get the hair curled all the way around, and then I start curling up. Hold it for a few seconds and then let it go. And as you notice, I'm not touching that because I just applied the hot airbrush to it. And once you hold it there for a few seconds, then click on the curl release, and that will let go of the curl. I can't do it right now because I don't have it turned on. Once it's turned on, it just releases. Now, if you notice this little part right here, it's kind of twisted in a direction I don't want it to go to. So when I pick up this strand right here, I'm going to make sure that when I curl it, it's going in the direction that I want it to go. So in the opposite direction. All right, I stopped the video and decided to show you a portion of how it was going, how we do it if you have a canvas head, because not everyone feels comfortable with it on their heads, and it might be better just to do it on the canvas head and on the canvas head and a tripod. And I purchased the tripod on Amazon. My canvas head is from Wig Studio One. It's the Jon Renau canvas head. So what I feel that sometimes it's better to use that hot airbrush just to touch up, maybe if you just have like a little area that's a little wonky, and that's sufficient. But if you have some box hair that is a little bit more stubborn than, as you saw in the first part of my video where one side wasn't very stubborn but the other side was, then it's best to go on the canvas head, because that way you have more control. You can divide the hair and work your way through it. I think the beauty of that Hot Tools is that you have that curl release, so it just automatically reverses the bristles, so you don't have to tug, you don't have to unwind the hair, and there's no risk really of damaging the fibers. So let's put on Karlie now. Very important to always pin at the ear tabs and at the nape, and that way it won't move. I think I may have this tripod in my Amazon store. If I don't, I'll put it in there. I really like it because it's a very sturdy one. And what I do, if the canvas head is a little big, I just take I took one of my wipes, one of my hand wipes. I cover the tripod with it, and then I insert, and that will secure it. It may not be perfect, but I think it's a lot better than what it was when I first got Karlie. And I want to mention something as I'm brushing it out, that at the beginning of the video, I said that I soaked it for about 5 or 10 minutes. I don't usually, I don't soak my hand-tied caps because I'm always afraid. I'm really concerned about loosening the fibers, the knotting on the hand-tied. But I did soak, because this was only for a cold soak, and it's just the one time. That's why I did it. All right, so as you can see, it's a lot better. I probably still have to work a little bit with the back, but it doesn't bother me. The measurements on Karlie, we have a bang of 12 1/4. We have sides of 9 1/4. The crown is 13 1/2. The nape is 6 inches, and the weight on Karlie is only 3.6 ounces. So we do have a very light piece here. I'll show you how Karlie looks now after I've done the hot air tool. Hot airbrush. And I haven't looked at the back, but I'm assuming that it's not perfect, and that's okay with me. But if it's not okay with you, then, as I mentioned, just a little bit more of the hot air tool. There is no permatease whatsoever on Karlie. We have a hand-tied cap, so therefore we're not going to find any permatease. As far as the density, I think it's an average density. I don't think it's too low. I don't think it's too high. Really easy, style. If you like bobs, if you want something a little bit longer than maybe Cameron from Jon Renau or Christy from Jon Renau, the Karlie is a little bit longer. I think it's just the perfect length. All right, let's take a walk outside so you can see Karlie out in the daylight, in the shade, in the sunlight, and then I'll come back. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you spending this time with me. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful to be using your hot air brush. If you have any questions, please leave them down for me in the comments. If you use a hot air brush on your wigs, on your synthetics, or your heat-friendly fibers, please share it down in the comments. I'd love to hear from all of you. I hope everyone is having a fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.